Michelob Ultra Tuscan Orange Grapefruit. My God, America is imploding.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fanzone. We are in round number 2 of the tournament. Deep in, and by deep, I mean 3 matches in, because there's only 4 matches in round 2. But we have a very exciting match for you today. We have coming in with their last win, Mr. Kaleb Koho, the number 7 seed. Who did Koho play? We just did the match. Who the fuck did he play? I'm like losing my mind. I don't remember, but he's the number 7 seed. Oh, he played Ryan. That's right. He played Ryan. Number 7 seed coming in. The part of this that I'm really excited about, though, is RJ is coming in all the way from, I believe, the number 15 seed of the tournament, beating Robert Parker in the second match of the season to get here. So that's kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to see if RJ can make a miracle happen again. Cody, you're here. What do you think about Koho versus RJ?
I feel like I'm not awake enough for this. I'm gonna be honest with you. There are places that I would rather be. Hell, in the freezer where the house that Jack built. Then we're listening to these two yell about 4 categories that honestly I don't know if they're that knowledgeable of. They'll just act like it and repeat themselves and scream at the top of their lungs. I don't know who's going to win, but it could go either way. It really could. Robert, no one saw RJ beating Robert. RJ beat him. Koho will be on. And then hope to get answers by just flaring his hands. So I don't know. This is going to be a long night. I got 2 of these.
Yes, we do. Lucas, you're here as well. Welcome back. How are you feeling about this matchup, Koho versus RJ?
No, I think Cody kind of encapsulated it really well in that there's a level of chill, big level of chill difference. Koho's somewhere down here and RJ is up here in terms of level of chill. And I've debated Koho. He has really good moments, and then he has moments where he goes on a 14-minute diatribe that accomplishes nothing and doesn't really provoke his argument. So this could be really fascinating to see does one of them get on a roll? Does one just kind of just keep getting the edge, or this could go into complete anarchy and they could just flip points the entire match until we have to pick a winner?
That's fair. Well, let's talk to the players, starting with the number 15 seed, RJ. RJ, you're here. Like Cody said, I don't think anybody in the poll or in the watching the show was expecting you to beat Robert. You pulled out the victory. How are you feeling about now playing Koho?
I'm as scared as you are about how this can go, because if Cody pushes the right button, I just got done with One Gotta Stay. So I'm already in a mood of being opinionated. So yeah. But I'm gonna, I'm just gonna make my arguments the way I can. I love the show, love the game. I don't think I care as much as Koho to go farther in this tournament. Koho takes a lot of pride in being right. I don't. I take a lot in pride in just proving other people wrong.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, let's bring in the number 7 seed, Mr. Kaleb Koho. Kaleb, you beat Ryan to get here. Tell us, how are you feeling about playing RJ?
I was expecting it to be Robert. He did something I haven't been able to do. He beat Robert. So if I lose, cool. I feel like there's a lot of stock being taken and me being really opinionated and angry tonight. And that's normally how I go, but I'll be honest with you. Forgot this was something until 2 hours ago. So I think that this is going to be. I know. I feel bad. I did prep to let you know. I did prep. I did my arguments. I did take this seriously. I just happened to forget that this was on this particular Monday of the month. But I'm ready.
Happy to be here tonight.
I know. I'm ready. I'm as willing to be here as Cody is. So let's just get this done.
Great. All right. Well, here's how the show works.
There are 2 kinds of Fanzone players. Okay?
Here's how the show works. we gave the players 4 questions based on 4 categories that they drafted. Each player is going to have a 1-minute opening, followed by a 5-minute free form where they will debate each other, and then a 1-minute closing argument for each player. The first player to 3 points is the winner. If we are tied 2-2 coming out of the 4 prep questions, we will go to a bonus question. Are there any questions from the competitors before we get started?
No.
Is it weird that we're both wearing the shirt over the shirt? I just thought that was weird. I didn't plan that, but I like
terribly weird. Terribly
A
weird.
little bit.
I don't like
All
it.
right. Let's fight. All right, guys, your first question is going to come in the category of music/musicals. This was drafted by Mr. Koho. The question is, what is the best song from a 2010s musical? Koho, like I said, you drafted this, so you get 1 minute to open your argument. When you start talking, I will come in and give you a 10-second countdown when the time comes.
It's as much of a shocker that I drafted musicals as it is that I picked a song from La La Land as my answer. Audition, The Fools Who Dream is one of the best, if not the best, song from a musical this decade because of the way it moves the story forward, what it means for Mia Dolan as a character. It fits so well into that movie, into that story. It's that sort of crescendo of emotion in that movie. It gets her to that point where she shows how well of a storyteller she is, how well of an actress she is. It defines that character in that movie and her abilities and skills and her dreams and her goals in one song, all while talking about someone who meant so much to her from her past. It's such a beautiful song. It's such a beautifully performed song, especially in the context of the film. So much so that we get a little bit of a callback in it in the final dream sequence that is equally beautiful. And if it were a song, I would have chosen it. But Emma Stone is fantastic. She won the Oscar for a reason. She's amazing in this movie, and this song is the reason why she won Audition.
Time. All right. We will bring in Mr. RJ. RJ, 1 minute when you start talking.
Brain fart. So everything Koho said is nice about what Audition does for La La Land, but there is a song that does everything he said better for a better movie, and that is A Million Dreams for The Greatest Showman. Does everything exactly Koho said for La La Land, but better. It sets up for the character, not only the main character, but his wife. It sets up the story really well. This story about living the dream, this story about being something better, being something greater than what you are. And it's a really nice transition, especially because you see them start singing this song as children and then into adulthood as they start to, believe that they're making these dreams come true. It's a really good setup to what this movie is actually going to be about. A lot of people consider, that Greatest Showman is the start of this movie, but this is actually the start of the movie. And I yield the rest of my time.
All right. Tragically upset that none of you picked Will Smith's Friend Like Me, but
damn it, it was close.
Audition
So close.
versus Million Dreams. 5 minutes, no talking over each other, or I'll hit you with a stick.
So I'll grant you this: you have half a great song. Hugh Jackman can sing. Your child is an auto-tuned, pitchy vocalist that is really hard to listen to, especially for the first half of the song. Also, I love how you're like, it sets up the character development of him and the wife. You mean how his wife has no character or any development whatsoever? Because The Greatest Showman is a really underwritten musical. Good choice.
We're talking about underrated musical, a musical that just depends on the fact that Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling are hot. So I don't know what you're talking about when it comes to underwritten musical. It's just them being one being happy and one being sad the entire time, and then the other one joins them in the sadness. So I don't know who you're talking about with underwritten musicals. I mean, you're talking about something that depends completely on star power. But no, A Million Dreams is just a nicer song I would like to listen to. It sets up, and you talk about, something that comes back later. You get that callback when they actually sing it with their daughters. It's really nice. It's just, I personally think that it just does a better job of setting up the journey that the character is going to go on. What actually sets them up, why they're there.
The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this bitch to say that Hugh Jackman's musical is not a star power driven musical. La La Land Audition's song is a better song. It does better for the movie because the whole heart of that movie is Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling's relationship and the way that you believe it. And Audition is Emma Stone's half of that movie where she really shows that she's a character and a person and shows you why you really care about her. And it's like the culmination of that. But go off on your my 80th version of the I Want song ever done in film. I mean, the song isn't very special. It doesn't really do any of the things you say it does. It's very bland, especially with how much production they put into the song itself. But I'll give you Hugh Jackman's good. Even Michelle Williams is really lackluster on the song in the 5 seconds she's on it. Like, it's not a very impressive song. There are better songs from The Greatest Showman you could have chosen. The first song that you mentioned, The Greatest Show, is the best song in that movie, and it never quite reaches that height. Even From Now On, which closes out the movie, is better than the one you picked. You picked like the 8th best song from your movie.
That's a personal opinion, first of all. And if you want to talk about it's the 80th song to ever do, This Is What I Want, then yours would be the 81st because it's literally the same shit. So I don't know who you're talking about.
Technically, mine would be the 80th that came before, but fair.
Whatever, 79th, whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter. Your song's doing the exact same thing, so I don't know why you're trying to bring that argument into this. But anyways, look, what the song is doing, it was unexpected. You expected Emma Stone to start this thing off with a bang and everything. You expected her to come in and take you on this magical journey and everything. And like you said, yes, Greatest Showman does start the movie. And then you get surprised by this very deep and emotional song that is deeper when you actually look into it. And you see this journey that he's on. And don't be mad at the kid. I'm sorry, Caleb. We all can't be you and sing perfectly without auto-tune. He still did a very good job.
Thank you. That was very sweet of you.
That's trying to be nice.
That's a polite backhanded hit. I don't think you've actually seen my movie because Audition's the last song of the movie. So Emma Stone's not starting this movie with a bang. It's the crescendo. It's the end of the movie. It's the this is what this movie has been. It's what this character is about. It's not an I Want song. An I Want song would be A Lovely Night, which came about an hour and 40 minutes before this. Yours is the definition of an I Want song. That's why I brought it up, is because yours is a generic cookie cutter pattern of a song that they use in everything, in every musical ever since the beginning of time, and it is not very well utilized here, especially because I will take it on the kid. The kid is very unbearable to watch and listen to, and the entirety of this song is super bland. I mean, I don't really know anything about this character from this song. To say that A Million Dreams is all it's going to take is a very generic phrase. It doesn't tell me anything about him or his wife. And to say that this does anything to develop their characters, it doesn't do anything, whereas mine actually helps build her character through and through, and her creativity and her motivation in her family.
How does it literally not say anything about the character? The lyrics are literally saying everything about the character. They say he's crazy. They did tell him he was crazy. And
they show like me that in dialogue.
He's lying alone in bed. He was literally homeless. That's literally what he did. A million dreams are keeping him awake. Yeah, that's the only thing that keeps him going. That's what keeps him moving towards this goal of making something happen for him and his future wife. So I don't know what you're talking about, that it doesn't tell a story. It completely tells a story. And you're not wrong. I haven't seen La La Land because I'm already bored with it just listening to the songs outside of it. Greatest Showman, when this song starts it off, this is a movie that I want to follow the entire way through. I don't want to wait the entire movie to get to that other song. I want to start the movie with A Million Dreams.
I mean, thank you for pointing out that your song has already been shown to us the first 20 minutes before we actually get to the song. It's a redundancy in your story, and adds nothing to the overall plot.
Time. All right, RJ, you now have 1 minute to close your argument when you start talking.
Look, Caleb can say all he wants about crescendos and everything. It's easy to say your song is the best song when, yeah, you're the final number. The final number is supposed to be the best song. So it's very easy to say that the best song is always going to be at the end. But when you have a strong song that actually tells your story, that tells you the journey you're about to go on with this character, as good as A Million Dreams, you have to notice how, like he said, a lot of people don't consider this the best song, but it is the hidden gem in this movie. It is such a beautiful number. It's so well put together, especially when you follow the transition from when they're young to when they are old. And like I said, the very nice little callback after he loses his job, and they're singing, the daughters actually sing the song and everything, reminding him what he's going to do. It's a beautiful song, beautifully well done. It is one of the best underrated songs of all time, the best song in this movie, best song of these musicals.
Okay. All right. Koho, you now have 1 minute to close your argument when you start talking.
RJ, if you wanted to pick the reprise, you could have picked the reprise. You've talked about it 8 times, and it is better than the actual song you picked. A Million Dreams, you say it shows the transition. It's one quick cut. It's one quick cut, and all of a sudden Hugh Jackman is here, and the song instantly gets a little bit better. But the thing is, the song, you pointed it out, is a redundancy. They already showed us everything that they want you to say in the song as a story. It's been in the first 15 minutes, and it adds nothing. You could have cut it for runtime, and we'd have missed nothing. With Audition, I'm not saying the last song at the end of every movie is the best part of the musical, but this one literally is her showing her ability to craft a story and tell a story and relate someone that we've heard about the entire movie's experiences and show how deep down how much she wants this. And this passion for acting and writing that she has just pours out of her, and this love of story comes out in this song. It's really emotional. It's really beautiful. Emma Stone crushes it, and there's a reason why it's the best one. It's because it is the song that you would use to define this movie. It's the song that makes you feel everything for that character. It's the reason why we love Mia, and yours is just another generic I Want song.
Time. All right. We will bring in lay judges. Probably grab my board. Okay, I'll go first. I will say I thought RJ's closing was very strong. That being said, I think Koho just kind of dominated this whole thing. Koho, giving it to Koho. I think he did a pretty good job of kind of talking why Audition was so important for La La Land in many different ways. RJ kind of was sticking on the same thing, kind of tripped himself up a bit a couple times. I don't think it is a problem that he hasn't seen the movie, so that's not an issue because we're just talking about the song. But that being said, I still give it to Koho. Cody, what about you?
I actually give him more points for not seeing the movie because, bless him, I wish I would have been able to do the same thing. This thing was terrible, but Koho acted like RJ owed him money and basically ran roughshod over this entire conversation. But he had me when Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, because they were hot, is the only reason they got the part. Because that's true, because she can't sing.
Okay, so Koho gets the point, but we will get from Lucas. Lucas, your vote doesn't count. Where would you have gone?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things that everyone's already said. I think the couple big things that coming up, I do actually think not seeing the movie does hurt him because he would ended up making points about the movie that Koho would be. He gave Koho a lot of easy rebuttals when he talked about Audition being at the beginning and just a lot of the stuff allowed openings. I think a lot of it just ended up being RJ saying, no, that's not true, but not necessarily actually being able to rebut Koho's criticisms. I also went Koho. I think RJ just kind of got stuck saying a lot of words, but not necessarily anything super impactful.
Yep. All right. So
I do really like A Million Dreams, though, RJ.
So Koho wins the first point. We are going to move on to question number 2. This was drafted by RJ. It's in the category of YA dystopia. And the question is, what is the best kill in the Hunger Games series? RJ, you get to go first on this one. You have 1 minute to open your argument when you start talking.
So in a movie a franchise where a lot of people die and there's a lot of different ways people die, I got to go with the best one comes from the most shocking, the most out of nowhere, the most skillful kill, and that's got to be in Catching Fire when Joanna kills Kashmir. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to save the rest of my stuff for the actual debate. I yield the rest of my time.
I was mid-pizza chew. I was not expecting this.
Okay. I apologize.
RJ, yielding about 35 seconds. We'll move over to Koho. Koho, 1 minute when you start talking.
in a franchise with memorable kills and non-memorable kills with a lot of murders, I think the one that stands out above the rest is the one that impacts the story the most. I think the most shocking moment and the most shocking kill in the entire franchise is when Katniss kills President Coin at the end of Mockingjay Part 2. It's the most impactful. She has a chance to kill the person that she's literally pinned her entire hatred of life and death on, and the deaths of many people for, and she kills the person who's going to usurp him. And that's a very powerful moment, and it's a very devastating moment, and shocking. And I remember it being the only time in this really godforsaken, terrible movie where I perked up and went, oh shit, something interesting is happening. When she just takes out Julianne Moore with a bow and arrow, just lifting it slightly, hitting her, and just watching that body flop. It's such a powerful moment. It's minimalistic. I don't need to see a lot of gore and blood and violence with it, but it's everything to this franchise. It is the showing of breaking a cycle, of starting over and showing rebirth and change for this franchise, and I think that's what they needed in the story.
Time. Okay. So 5 minutes of freeform. When one of you starts talking, don't talk over each other.
Go ahead.
You are muted, or you need to pull them.
Sorry, yeah, no, I got to pull the thing down.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep. Right, no, yeah, you want to talk about most impactful and go for the easy answer? Sure, like that. But if you talk about that was the best kill and you didn't see that coming, then you weren't watching the movie, because we knew about 20 minutes before that she was about to kill that bitch, because she did feel some sympathy for Homeboy Snow. I don't remember his fucking name anymore anyways. But Homeboy was already going to die anyways. Homeboy was going to die. She knew that. She didn't need to kill him. She didn't need that public execution. Coin needed to go. And we all knew Coin needed to go. And the way, if you don't watch cinema and didn't know at that moment that she was just about to go slightly up and kill the other person, then you don't know how to watch movies. Whereas my kill came completely out of nowhere and took way more of a skill set to accomplish.
I'll be honest, yours is the most forgettable kill in the Catching Fire movie. In the entirety
Forgettable doesn't mean it's not the best.
Yes, it does.
Because it doesn't mean best.
Yes, it does. Because if I don't remember your kill, then it obviously can't be the best, because there's nothing special about it for it to stick in my brain as something that's worth remembering. I think the Catching Fire movie has way more kills worth remembering. The fucking Mags walking into the fucking gas is more memorable to me. That's a more impactful death and kill. It's not someone physically stabbing another person or anything, but that's more memorable to me. And that's a better kill in your movie, a more impactful kill in your movie. But for me, I mean, sure, maybe it's telegraphed as fuck, but I mean, Snow does not die in the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. She lets him live. He does not get killed. She was the executioner. So she chose to let the guy...
anyways.
No, he wasn't. No, he was not. And here's the thing. Snow does not get killed by Katniss, and that takes a lot of restraint, and that shows a lot of growth in that character to avoid taking an easy kill in vengeance and instead freeing the entire country of Panem from having a repeat in the future. It's very powerful and very impactful from that one scene. I think that's more memorable in the entire franchise.
No, like I said, you have to look at best kill with the skill it had to take. Look, all Katniss had to do was pull the bow back and literally aim at a target that had nothing around her. This chick literally had her arms open like, shoot me right in the fucking heart. Whereas this kill, you got to remember this scene. The careers had them on the ropes, actually snuck up on them. Actually had them cornered. And when Katniss had her back turned, the one you say had the most best kill, when she had her back turned and was about to die, Joanne pushed her out of the way, took a full-size axe. Let's talk about that real quick, because anybody can tell you right now, Tomahawk takes some skill, but when you can do it, it's easy. It is not easy to throw a full-size axe with the accuracy of about only 6 feet away to get it to spin with enough momentum that you actually land that blade right in the freaking heart. The skill level it takes to land that kill automatically makes that the best kill this franchise has ever seen. Every other kill in it took almost no advanced skill whatsoever with the weapons that were presented. Katniss, she's a hunter. She has to know how to use a bow. She did a really good job at it. Finnick, great with a spear. We knew he was great with a spear. Homeboy looks like fucking something out of Atlantis. So anytime that dude threw his spear, you knew he was going to get the kill. When freaking Thrash crushes Clove up against the wall, you know it's going to be good. When you get that kill out of nowhere, that is the best kill.
Joanna is from the lumber district. Of course she can use an axe. That's not if we're going to say that Katniss using a bow is unimpressive, then Joanna using an axe is unimpressive. The thing is, Kat, you're like downplaying the fact that she's 100 feet away, far away, and has to nail a kill shot direct to the heart. That is a small target from 100 feet away. She is an accurate bow hunter, and that is an impressive shot for an accurate bow hunter, and it also matters more in the entire scope of the franchise. It's more memorable. It's a better kill, a better moment in this franchise. I don't remember your kill, and honestly, at the end of the day, your kill means nothing. Your kill is a random occurrence in the middle of a giant battlefield with a bunch of other kills that doesn't stick with you. It's not even it's not even the best kill in your fucking movie. That's the issue. Catching Fire has so many kills happening, so many, and that one gets completely lost in the shuffle because it's not that good. A lumberjack throws an axe into someone's shoulder and they fall into water and get crushed by the clock. Good for you. That is a totally fine kill. But Mags walking into gas in your movie, better. Finnick killing people with a trident, better. The thing is with Coin going down from a bow and arrow, if it was the most impressive kill, sure, you might win, but this is best. And I think best also qualifies its impact into the story. And I think that Coin getting taken out by Katniss to break the cycle has some weight in this argument and impact on that kill and making it memorable and one of the best kills in the entire franchise.
No, you're talking about being a lumberjack and actually throwing an axe takes two totally different skill sets. So that is ridiculous that you think anybody can throw an axe like that.
All right. Koho, you get to close first. 1 minute when you start talking.
I realize we're arguing the most skilled kill. My thing is best kill to me means, yes, it's a well-shot, well-choreographed thing, but I think it also has to matter some bit into the story. It has to factor a little bit into the impact of the story. Impactfulness has to have a little bit of play into when you're determining what the best kill in this franchise of thousands and thousands of kills is. And I think that Coin, who is the symbol of the future and would be just as repressive and maybe worse than Coin, getting shot by the face of the future in the rebellion, who had installed her in her place, getting shot from 100 feet in the heart with the bow and arrow, when she could take out the guy who has killed almost her entire family at this point and has tortured her for years and put her through 2 Hunger Games, is right there for her to kill. It would have been satisfying and endful, but she takes out what's good for the future. She takes out the future President Snow. I think that's a better kill, a more impactful kill, a better done kill than this forgettable fucking kill from Catching Fire that's like the 20th most memorable one in his own movie.
Time. All righty. RJ, you now have 1 minute to close your argument when you start talking.
So I actually do have some experience with archery, and trust me, 100 feet with a target that actually doesn't know you're about to shoot it is actually a very easy thing to do. Not only that, she may have not known she was the target. We all knew she was the target. We all knew that kill was coming. Like I said, most impactful, sure, not the best. You got to go with best. Who gave the best kill? Who showed the most impressive use of their skill? Like I said before, just because you're a lumberjack does not mean you could throw that axe. It means you can swing that axe. It doesn't mean you can throw it. The skill it takes to only be 6 feet away and make that axe spin enough to get that kill, that is skill. That's what makes it the best kill. And you want to talk about it had no effect on the story? That was the moment Katniss knew she could trust Joanne. That entire movie, she still didn't trust that girl. That girl always looked like she had something going for her. She pushed, not only pushing someone out of the way and going straight into that throw, showing her skill was good enough to even go up against someone as skilled as the Careers. That is what makes that the best kill of this entire franchise.
Time. Okie dokie. Bring in them judges.
Can I ask a clarification from you, Tim? Because I've never actually asked this question.
Yeah, go for it, buddy.
Can fact checks be brought into anything?
Absolutely, because I was going to bring one up. So
okay, thanks. That's what I'm just curious.
You want it to be brought up to go towards your argument.
Well, my thing is if I have outside, I know the film, and somebody just tried to paint a different style of the movie that's not existent. That doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, I have no.
Well, because if I come on here and say Goodfellas and all the players are redeemed and they're all happy and they all go to heaven together and they all dance on top of it, and you've never seen it, but the judges have no clue. I've painted, but I know Goodfellas at the end. That's not what happened.
No, I agree with you.
That can't sway me, right? Because
I'm with you on that. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I would take a guess for 600 and say that was wrong, saying she was from the Lumber District. I don't remember.
No, I think that's correct.
That wasn't the thing.
Okay, fair.
That also wasn't the thing for me. So.
Fair. I just couldn't remember. I was like, I'm gonna guess that's probably wrong.
We'll hear from Lucas first, since your vote didn't count last time.
I think the most impactful argument of the entire thing was when Koho goes, I don't remember this kill, because I had the same problem the minute RJ brought it up. I think what really sunk RJ's was he brought up a kill that is not front and center in the movie, and then didn't explain why the kill is awesome until like more than halfway through his argument. At which point I think Koho had really taken the entire argument and said, we're fighting it on my terms, which is most impactful to the story, rather than coolest or most impressive. And I think by the point RJ even got into why it was so impressive, I think Koho had kind of already taken the cake. So I would go Koho.
Okay. I'll go next. I actually went RJ. I went RJ. I thought RJ's whole thing of best, literally the straightforward way of the skill it takes to do the kill. I thought he tore down Koho's actually pretty well by saying that this shit is so telegraphed. Koho's whole opening was this most surprising thing that happened in a boring movie, and I thought he tore it down really well by being like, no, it wasn't at all. And my fact check thing was, I believe Snow does die. He just gets like eaten alive by all those humans that come and attack him right there. But that didn't impact my decision at all. So I give it to RJ. So Cody, you get to decide it.
So this was never fought on the correct terms whatsoever. Wasn't best. One was more skilled. One was more shocking. One was rememberable. What was it? I just took it down to who described their kill to me. And I guess because I've deep cut wrote for Catching Fire twice now in my life, I remember Joanna's kill very well, and I think that's very cool. But the fact check that I have to bring up is Snow that's why she doesn't do the kill, because he is dying. Like, that's the entire speech before, and him coughing on the white rose. That's the whole. She knows she's not going to waste the arrow on him. But I went with RJ because he talked. Koho set it up in a certain way of surprising as his lead, and then RJ just ripped it to shreds and said, "If you don't know how to watch cinema, if you didn't know that she was dying at that point." So,
and to call Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 cinema is quite a
that's a stretch in itself.
Quite the statement. But anyway, so RJ wins point number 2. We're moving on to question number 3, which was drafted by Mr. Koho. It is in the category of Star Trek, the thing he's been watching since he was a wee lad. The question is, what is the dumbest moment in an original Star Trek movie? I love this. This is great. So, Koho, you get to start 1 minute when you start talking.
I think dumbest is like unnecessarily dumb. Star Trek can be really fucking dumb. There's, especially in the original 6, there are moments where you're just like, what the fuck are we doing and why is this happening? And I think there's none more dumb and just unsettlingly dumb than having Uhura come out and dance naked in the Final Frontier as a distraction to a bunch of people. I'm sorry, 60-year-old fucking Nyota Uhura is fucking dancing with leaves, buck-ass nude in the dudes on Nimbus 3 for no fucking reason, and me sitting here going, I'm good. I don't need to watch the rest. William Shatner must have had like some like really deep-seated desire here, because it has no point to this movie. It serves no point whatsoever. You could have done something totally different. It's a stupid, dumb decision that adds nothing but horror and terror to the history of the Star Trek franchise, and it's just disturbing in every possible way. I'm so sorry to Sheldon Coles you had to go through that.
Time. Holy shit. All right. RJ, you now have 1 minute to open when you start talking.
Y'all want to talk about dumb? Let's go to my last match. Y'all know how I feel about the voyage home. It is dumb all around. Fuck those whales. I'm sorry. I mean, I really do care about whales, but fuck those whales. Seriously. That whole movie is dumb, but if you're talking about the single dumbest moment they could have done is when a man who is Captain Admiral, has held all the highest ranks in this Federation that we've done all these space explorations, And literally his best friend just told him 10 seconds ago that this creature is extinct, meaning it no longer exists, has the audacity to ask the question out loud, can we find it on another planet? What the actual fuck are you talking about? I'm done.
All right. Whales versus nakedness.
Nudity.
One of you starts talking.
All right, look. That I'll be honest with you. That's actually a very reasonable question to ask because Spock tells them they're extinct on Earth. He's been told that they're extinct on Earth. There's no reason that these people who live thousands of years after where we live, or hundreds or whatever centuries after us, wouldn't know that there might be humpback whales on other planets. There's creatures that are comparable to humpback whales on other planets. That's a valid question to ask before they're about to fucking go hundreds of years in the past to bring something to the future and fuck with the time stream continuum. I'm sorry. I think that's a very valid reason to ask. But here's the thing. With the Final Frontier, tell me the necessity of Uhura dancing naked with palm leaves on Nimbus 3. Go ahead.
I will actually tell you the reason. I am more than happy to tell you the reason. There's two actual reasons. The behind-the-scene reason, you're not wrong. Will Shatner did have a creepy crush on her. That's one. Reason number two, you literally said it. It was a distraction. Was it a reasonable distraction? No, but it was a distraction. It distracted you. It made you stare at like, this is happening. This is actually what's going on. I can literally do anything behind my back because it's weird, but I can't look away. Whereas you could say all you want about like, oh, it's reasonable that he would ask if it was on another planet. If it was on another planet, we wouldn't say it's extinct. The answer would have been, it is extinct, but this. For years, whenever in any Star Trek lore, TV show, movies, I don't care what you look at, when have they ever said, yes, there is proof that there are Earth species on other planets that exist on this one planet? There are plenty of other ones on this other planet way over there in the other galaxy. Believe me, if they did their research and all that research they did to bring up, hey, look, this is humpback whales, there would be something in their database that says, hey, look, we actually found this guy on another planet, actually. So, like, yeah, this is all the information we have on humpback whales. So if literally the thing tells you, this supercomputer that has all the knowledge that you know in this giant federation that travels the galaxies, and it doesn't tell you that, yes, it's on other planets, your question asking if it was other planets is moot, redundant, stupid.
Spock is half human. Obviously, there are human-like species out there, and they are compatible to fuck with humans. There are things that can at least adapt to humanity. Creatures, people, other species that can definitely emulate humanity or have the same properties as humanity. It's not a dumb question, especially when they're discovering new planets every episode of Star Trek. There's infinite planets and infinite galaxies in the infinite universe. It's not a dumb question to ask. That's out of the question. You're right. It's a distraction. It's a dumb distraction that they could have written literally any fucking thing else. But William Shatner is a horny 6-year-old going, let me see her naked. It's an indefensibly dumb distraction that they put in this movie that serves no plot purpose. Yours, at least I can understand where Kirk is coming from when he asks that question.
No. Once again, no, there's no point, because you're right. There's millions of planets, all these things they discovered. Anywhere in the lore have they ever told you, oh yeah, we found a similar Earth species on another planet? No, there is no precedence ever presented in Star Trek lore that gives you the audacity to ask that question. And you want to talk about he's half human? His mother is from Earth. She's literally from
the Romulan or Vulcan.
Yes, that is another humanoid. That is another humanoid species, not a creature. That is a totally different thing. Fucking a Vulcan does not give you a humpback whale.
Hold on.
You want to talk about it serves no purpose. Once again, it doesn't matter how dumb you think it is. It did serve the purpose of what it was there for. It was a distraction. It was a distraction. You could say, but you could say, it doesn't matter how dumb you think it is. It doesn't matter. You keep arguing that it served no purpose. It did. It was a distraction. It was a distraction.
You just said.
It was for Will Shatner. And it was for fan service.
What fans wanted that? Okay. First of all, what you just said was, it doesn't matter if it seems like it serves no purpose, it serves a purpose. Your literal argument here. Kirk doesn't know if it's on other planets or not, especially because we are learning about new planets every day. If there are alien species who can procreate with humans, who's to say that there aren't species on these planets that can emulate human Earth creature characteristics as well? That is a completely valid thought.
Because according to their plot, it wouldn't have mattered. Even if there was some comparable thing out there, they literally said only a humpback whale can do it. They have advanced computers that could have watched the sound of the humpback whale. It doesn't matter. If we don't find the exact humpback whale, comparable is a mute argument. It doesn't matter. It had to be a humpback whale. It didn't have to be, hey, look, on this alien planet, there are these whale-like creatures that are pretty close to a humpback whale. No, it had to be a humpback whale from the planet Earth. They're extinct. They're not on other planets. They're gone. They're dead. The computer told him that. They're gone.
We didn't know that until he asked the question.
They're all gone.
We didn't know that until he asked the question. That's your valid point. Him asking this question is exposition.
Oh my god. I will say that I think my new favorite line ever said in Multiplex history is fucking a Vulcan doesn't get you.
I would like to say for the record, this is the dumbest fight I've ever fought in the history of debate. Anyway, go ahead.
Fucking a Vulcan doesn't get you a humpback whale. Genius. Okay, I'm sorry. RJ, you get to go first. You have 1 minute to close when you start talking.
Look, Koho can say all he wants that it's a valid question. It's not. They literally look on the computer and it gives them all the information it has on humpback whales. They were a species on Earth. They're extinct. A Federation would have been smart enough to put on their computer, hey, look, we have them on other planets. It didn't, so his question made no sense. Whereas his thing, as much as he wants to say, it served its purpose. Inside the film's plot and outside of the film itself. Inside the film's plot, they needed a distraction. She danced for people. Everyone was staring at her. Served the purpose. Distraction. Good distraction, actually, because it worked. Then, outside the movie, like he says, he wants to say, oh, who wanted that? Who wanted to see her like that? You would be pretty freaking surprised. And if you really don't know the answer to that question, then you have never been at a Comic-Con when she is there. Because trust me, there are plenty of people who wanted to see that. I yield the rest of my time.
All right. Koho, you now have 1 minute to close your argument when you start talking.
I think I've adequately stated multiple times throughout this fight that distraction is unnecessary, gratuitous, and stupid, because even in the thought process of them coming up with this distraction, they said, put this naked Earth woman on this planet and hope it works. And maybe it did work, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it is stupid beyond all reason, that it's pointless, dumb. Your question that you asked is exposition. It's to make perfectly clear that we can't go to a planet that maybe we haven't even found yet to find humpback whale-like creatures who can emulate this sound. Maybe it's a dumb question, but it's exposition for the moron in row 3 behind you outside the movie, too, that goes, why don't they go to another planet to find a humpback whale, blah, blah, blah. Yours, if you want to bring in William Shatner as a horn dog for mine, I'm going to bring in the fact that yours is literally story plot material as well. So at the end of the day, yours works and is not egregious in the context of your movie. Mine is dumb, serves absolutely no purpose in or outside the movie that couldn't be solved in another way.
Time. Oh my god. This may be like my new favorite thing that's ever happened.
I never want to say the words naked Nichelle Nichols ever again.
I should get Star Trek questions every match.
Wow. When we wrote that, I did not expect that level of laughter. Fucking a Vulcan doesn't get a humpback whale. Oh, man. All right. Cody, you get to go first on this one.
I love Star Trek about as much as I love a bullet to the head. And I think I hated it more for being here. I don't think the good argument that Shatner had a crush on somebody and to distract Koho and people from watching it, and what didn't help was if you've ever been to a Comic-Con, there's a lot of people that want to see it. Well, y'all go outside, get some fresh air. Stop. It's Koho, please. I know we're never talking about dumbest moment in Star Trek because there's a lot apparently. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Lucas, you get to go next.
I'm never going to a Comic-Con. Just
Same. Same.
I feel like inadvertently RJ kind of made the point for Koho because every time they talked about Kohos, it was like, oh, okay, that doesn't make sense when asking that question. And I think it is really. I give RJ credit because he had a lot of really good lines and it was very funny. But I think trying to argue against the random like naked dancing distraction is basically impossible. So like credit to him for what he tried, but I would also give it to Koho. That is just it's so hard to argue against it. It's such a ridiculous moment.
Talking of Vulcan does not get you off back whale might be my tattoo. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, so Koho gets the point. I also would have gone with Kaleb. I thought RJ actually did really well, despite the creepy Comic-Con thing. At the
It's
end.
just hard.
But
Like
I
one.
think with what he chose, during his intro, I was like not on board at all, and he actually had me on board as that being a super dumb moment. But yeah, nothing could top Koho's just demolishing of the
Hey, if I actually seen these movies, I could pick something better, but I was still on voyage home of how stupid of a movie it was, so we make do.
That's fair. All right, so we're moving on to the final prep question, which was drafted by RJ. It's in the category of sci-fi fantasy, and the question is, what is the best performance in 2017's Power Rangers? So RJ, you drafted this. You get to go first you get to 1 minute to open your argument when you start talking.
Look, all I got to say is, for future reference and for past reference, all the best actors that come out of Power Rangers are named RJ. And in this movie, it is no exception. It is RJ Kyler, who played Billy Cranston, was the best part of that entire film, first of all. And the performance he delivered was very memorable. It was very truthful. And it was very sensitive to the subject that they were covering, which I'll get into later into the argument. But yeah, there's absolutely no question that he put in the best performance of that entire film. And I yield the rest of my time because the rest is just argument.
All right. Lots of time being yielded this afternoon. Koho, have 1 minute to open your argument when you start talking.
Power Rangers is ass. This movie's terrible. And there's no great thing in this movie except for Naomi Scott, who is great in everything she has ever been in. This woman walks into this movie for a paycheck and delivers a performance where you actually give a fuck about this character. She ends up being the Pink Ranger. She's honestly the leader of this team, if we think about it. She's the only sensible human. Why the fuck is this jock played by Dacre Montgomery the leader of this team? Naomi Scott's the smartest one. She's the most logical one. She's the most human person on this team, and that comes entirely from Naomi Scott, who shows more than just one shade in her character. She gives layers in everything she does. The way she talks to each character indicates she has personality. Like Becky G and everyone else in this movie are sleepwalking. Naomi Scott came here for a paycheck and delivered one of the best performances in this movie. That's the best performance in this movie for a reason. She is the heart of this movie. She's the soul of this movie. She's the only great thing in this movie. Good for her. Power Rangers ass.
All right. 5 minutes freeform when one of you starts talking.
First of all, you say another unkind thing about this movie, I'm going to come over there, I'm going to rip out that Pink Ranger hair you got on
Krispy
right now
Kreme
and shove it down your throat. First of all. Second of all, you're right. She did it for a paycheck, and you can clearly see it in her performance because all she did was give us an updated version of literally who Kimberly was in the 90s. That's literally all she did. She walked in and went from a valley girl to a small town girl who wants to get out of town. Oh boy, we haven't fucking seen that before in 20,000 movies. Whereas you bring in RJ Kyler, someone who was actually passionate about being part of the project and was able to take this character and make him more than he ever was in the original series.
Hi. I don't know if we watched the same movie, but your guy just played a nerd. He played a nerd. It's not her fault that the script is so shitty that they write her as, oh, you're just a valley girl, whatever. She comes in and plays that character better than the script writes for her. She comes in and she shows this level of dedication and emotion to the part she's playing where she's just kind And she's like sympathetic, and you care about her, and you want her to make it out of this movie. I couldn't give a shit about RJ Cyler. He is literally just a nerd. He's one shade. He's a nerd. Ludi Lin is a weird outsider. Becky G is a rapper trying to be a human, and fucking Dacre Montgomery is a jock. They all play a stereotype of themselves, and she brings depth and layers and more to this performance than she was ever needed to with the script she got.
First of all, you want to say she was nice, her character? She literally sent a dirty text message that one of her best friends got from her ex to the parents. That's the whole reason she's in detention.
That's looking out for her friend.
No. You got your time to talk. It's my time to talk. Second of all, you want to talk about he's just a nerd? No. What I said, he's very sensitive to the character because he plays it on the spectrum. He has social anxiety. It's very hard for him to make friends. There's not just a simple nerd thing to it. The original Billy, yes, was just your simple nerd. And third of all, quick side note, you pronounce his name correctly. It is RJ Cyler. Look it up. Don't insult the actors by saying their names incorrectly. And last but not least, if you want to talk about who was like basically the heart of this team, that is Billy all the way. That's why in that entire movie, he's the only one who morphs before they actually come as a team together, because he is actually the heart. He's the one who is nicest to everyone. He's the one who is trying to take care of everyone. He's the one who understands what they have to do. It is just because of his social anxiety that he has to stay back, and he plays that so well, because if you actually met RJ Cyler in real life, he's a very outgoing dude. He's a great guy. And for him to be able to pull that back for what he had to do for that character was fantastic.
All I'm saying is, you're going off of the script and what they were given as actors, and then going, oh yeah, they gave him, he's supposed to be the heart of the movie. The movie's trying to tell you he's the heart of the movie. I don't feel that from his performance. He's cold. RJ Cyler is cold. He is generic. He is a nerd. I'm sorry. If that's something he was trying to convey, I didn't get it out of his performance. He wasn't doing a good job. Naomi Scott is the only one of these five that I care about based on the way she acts. And yes, while the script has her do that at the very beginning, it's because deep down she's looking out for this friend. She cares a lot about this friend and is trying to help. She's going about it in the wrong way, but she cares deeply for everyone on that team and outside. And that is why she's the most interesting character, because she actually cares about people. She shows it. She's the only person showing you any of this information in this movie. Your guy is being told, we're being told this in telegraphed lines of dialogue. RJ Cyler does not show this in 1 ounce of this movie. Naomi Scott does.
Oh, you're clearly watching the wrong movie, because if you think
she turned in
that photo for a friend, no, that was pure vengeance. I don't know what movie you're watching, but even when she confronts her friend, that was pure vengeance. That was pure, I am getting back at my ex-boyfriend, and I'm getting back at you for sleeping with my ex-boyfriend. Homegirl broke his tooth. So I don't know what you're talking about, that she's all this little thing. Once again, you want to talk about she was looking out for someone? No, she was looking out for, number one, herself. Don't get me wrong. She follows that character arc that she learns not to. But like I said, it doesn't matter. And you want to talk about, they telegraphed that he was the heart? No, they totally tried to telegraph Dacre into that role. They totally want Jason to be front and center, all about him and everything. And not only that, the best performance that you can put into a movie is honestly, especially a movie like this, is that awkwardness of being presented with this kind of power. The fact that she's one of the characters, she's like literally the only character who's like, oh, I totally got this from day one. That's not what I want to see. I don't want to see someone who's just like, oh, straight up, oh yeah, I got this. I can already fight and everything. I'll do this. Bullshit, you're about to do that.
I'm sorry that she actually is capable.
This movie, they're all capable. You need to watch their training footage, because basically
Becky G's
all those guys did waiter.
RJ Cyler's not.
We're not talking about Becky G.
Not talking about Becky G. Strike it from the record. Koho, you have 1 minute to close your argument when you start talking.
He keeps trying to convince you that RJ Cyler is doing this magnificent Oscar-worthy acting, but this guy's just playing a nerd. I'm sorry. It's one-dimensional acting and doesn't add anything. If he's the heart of this movie, it's because the script really wanted him to be, and we don't get it. He morphs before everyone else? Cool. The script had him morph before everyone else. RJ Cyler's performance has nothing to do with the script. Naomi Scott gives me everything that I need out of this character. She's the only one interesting. She fucking broke a dude's tooth. That's sick as shit. I'm sorry. That I believe that Naomi Scott could go on this arc in this transformational journey to the end, where I think that she's probably the most intelligent, kind, and caring person on this team, while also going into it the most capable. I'm sorry RJ doesn't like people who come in and go, oh, I'm capable. I've come from a rough background. I can handle myself. Sorry. I'm sorry RJ Cyler is a nerd and everyone else is playing one-dimensional stereotypes, and Elizabeth Banks is fucking out of some sideshow. But Naomi Scott is the only character and the only actress worth her salt in this movie because she's the only one displaying any real emotion in this movie that is equal to her character. RJ Kyler is a waste of time.
All right. RJ, you now have 1 minute to close your argument when you start talking.
Okay, we either need to get Koho his paycheck for everything he had to say today or get him out of Naomi Scott's ass, because that is literally the argument of someone who literally watched a movie and only watched the one actor they cared about, which he clearly did. When you actually sit down and watch this movie and every character for what they are, yes, I 100% agree with him that some of the other actors did not turn in a great performance. I'm looking at you, Becky G. I'm sorry, you shouldn't have been the Yellow Ranger, but it's not about Becky G. This is about Naomi Scott versus RJ Kyler. When you watch this movie and actually watch it, not be like, oh, I got to watch Power Rangers, I'm just going to watch Naomi Scott. No, when you actually watch this movie and examine all 5 of these characters, you will see RJ Kyler puts in the most heart, he puts in the most work, he puts in the most character development that he did himself, and put in the best performance that he could for this movie, and it blows every other single actor out of the water. I yield the rest of my time.
All right.
Love Power Rangers.
I wish Naomi Scott was paying me. That'd be nice. She's got money.
Hey, she does. Hey, she's hot though. Don't get me wrong. Princess Jasmine, all day.
Why are we always doing this, RJ?
All right, you guys are both shut up. Both of you are banned for president.
All right. I get to go first, right?
Yeah, do it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Please.
I'm going with RJ. I thought RJ did a really good job of talking about why Billy was so important to the movie and why it was because of RJ Kyler's performance that pushed that forward and made that. Koho didn't really have a lot to me that stuck about why Naomi Scott's performance was special. He used the script thing a lot, but then all of the things that he said about her was stuff from the script. So it didn't really work for me. Cody, you get to go next.
Yeah, I was probably a jerk in high school, but this would be a table that I would be like, shut up! No one cares about Power Rangers. I was a mean person in high school, but that's how I felt this entire conversation because I wanted to yell, shut up. This is the one with the Krispy Kreme, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I don't think Koho has seen this movie. And if he has, I don't think he's seen it in a very long time. I'm pretty sure RJ could have said, and when she puts on the tutu, and then he would have used it as a counterpoint in the next question. Because he said something about hit the guy in the tooth, and she's like, and that was his next point. She's pretty cool. She hit somebody in the tooth. So somebody's really passionate about Power Rangers, and the other person just doesn't know Power Rangers at all. I go with RJ.
The amount of fucks I give about this movie are 0.
Lucas,
I hate all of you. I hate all of you.
Lucas, your vote didn't count, but where would you have gone?
I also do not care about Power Rangers and also don't like this movie. But yes, I actually agree with Cody. I think early on, I liked what Koho was going with. And then as the argument kept going, I realized more and more that he wasn't stacking a second and third layer on top of his argument. His argument was, he put his argument out there, and it was it. And then RJ just kept adding on, and it was like, you're saying the same points at the I would have also gone RJ.
He put a paper out there. RJ just went, and it flew away.
All right.
I have not seen this movie since Leaders.
Okay, sorry.
We are going to move on to the bonus question because we are tied 2-2 after the 4 prep questions. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to say the question, which we have randomized, Cody and I. I will say the question once. I will then say it a second time. After I've said it the second time, you guys can say an answer. Whoever says their answer first will be going first. There's going to be 45-second opening, another 45-second from the other player, then a 30-second rebuttal, then a 30-second rebuttal. You can use your time however you wish. Gentlemen, if you think of an answer, say it. Don't wait around for the next person. I'm done with this bullshit. It's been too long. If you think of an answer,
We're going to introduce a coin flip to see who decides to go
very
in.
soon. Very soon. So, do we understand the rules of how this is going to work?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will stay on screen the whole time to give you guys the countdown and everything. So the question is...
sorry, real quick. We are allowed to search, right? Like we're
yes,
allowed to...
if you can't think of something right away, yes, you can. Okay. Yeah. And I'll just cut it all out in post. Okay. The question is coming from the side of Fandom, the category of Pixar. And the question is, what Pixar character besides Buzz Lightyear should get a spin-off movie? Because Buzz Lightyear already has one coming out. So again, what Pixar character besides Buzz Lightyear should get a spin-off movie?
Frozone.
Mater.
All right. We are going to start with Mr. Koho. You have 45 seconds when you start talking.
Frozone's like the best part of The Incredibles. He has some of the best moments, some of the best dialogue, some of the best everything. And he's one of the most interesting, cool characters in it. I'd love to see a full movie with him. You can do a lot of cool stories and see his time as a superhero away from Mr. Incredible and get a full-on world of what what Frozone's side of the Incredibles universe looks like. It can be really cool and interesting, especially with the ice power action. We already got a Mater spinoff. It's called Cars 2, and it's pretty much Pixar's worst movie ever. Larry the Cable Guy is trash. But I think Frozone would make for a very interesting film. You could do a lot of cool things. You could actually explore a lot of different layers with it about race as a black superhero and what that means in their 50s style world that they live in. You can do a lot of different things with them. Honey could be introduced and we can actually see a Honey like as a character and see what she's like and what she adds in an everyday life. I think Frozone would be way more interesting.
Time. All right, RJ, 45 seconds when you start talking.
I'm sorry, but if I want to see, a Frozone movie, I'm just going to watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe because Frozone is literally Samuel L. Jackson as a cartoon. That's exactly what he is. His personality is completely Samuel L. Jackson. Whereas with Mater, like I said, you're not wrong that Cars 2 did take a misstep by trying to put him in this extraordinary situation, but that's where they made the mistake. They put him in an extraordinary situation. What we would like to see for Mater is actually maybe something of an origin story. We'd like to see how Mater ended up in Radiator Springs. How did he end up being so rusty? How did he end up being the world's best backward driver? How did he end up being this lovable character that all the kids know and love? I think it'd be a very interesting story. You could say all you want about Larry the Cable Guy. He brings that character to life. He is Mater. I think it'd be a very interesting story.
Time. Koho, 30 seconds.
Everything you've talked about is literally shown in flashbacks in Cars or in those tall toon Mater toon shorts they do. And in 5 minutes, Larry the Cable Guy is still unbearably annoying. There's nothing about Mater that I need to see in a full film. The character is annoying. The actor is annoying. At least I like Samuel L. Jackson. And Nick Fury is a totally different character. Frozone has ice powers. I would rather see cool action with a superhero with ice powers with Samuel L. Jackson voicing him than Larry the Cable Guy learning how to drive backwards as a blue Mater that's rusting off. I don't have any interest in seeing where Mater came from. I have all the interest in seeing where Frozone is going.
Time. RJ, 30 seconds.
You can say you all you want, guys, on what you want and everything too. This is what's going to sell to people. Honestly, Frozone would work. But the most appealing thing, like you said, about introducing Honey is that we don't see her. That's what makes her freaking hilarious in the movies is we never see her. We just hear Wendy Williams screaming off to the end. And like I said, it's Samuel L. Jackson being Samuel L. Jackson. I don't think there's any more depth you can add to that character. Whereas the Tiny Toons are all fake. So you actually can add a real origin story to Mater and actually see how he became the lovable goofball that he is.
Time. Okay. Bring back in the judges. We are all over the place, baby. There we go. Okay. Okay. Lucas, you get to go first.
Two interesting choices. I think the arguments were well made for each. I think where this was decided for me was the counter arguments. I think Koho had some really good ones. I think the reference to the MCU didn't make any sense to me. I don't see how Frozone and Nick Fury are really related. Fury isn't a superhero, isn't the lead, I don't know. That was one of the arguments that really I found quite baffling and didn't work for me. I would give the slightly into Koho. I think his counter arguments are just a little bit stronger.
Okay. I'll go next. I also give it to Koho. I thought RJ's 30-second rebuttal was actually really strong. But yeah, that MCU thing didn't really work for me. But I thought his comeback about Honey and everything worked really well. But I thought Koho's whole thing about seeing where Frozone is going is a way more interesting concept than seeing where Mater has been. So he won it for me. Cody, your vote doesn't count. Where would you have gone?
It was Koho, but I was sitting in the back when he picked Mater, which I think was the most bold strategy ever, because I hate that fucking character. But when I said, please, if you're going to argue this, please go Origin, and you went Origin, it just, the MCU thing, I agree with the rest of them. It just, I couldn't latch on. I knew where you were going with it. It just didn't hold on, because I think he picked your answer, if I'm being honest, and I think that's what ended up happening. So, but it was a good final round.
All right. Well, that means your winner, moving on to the next round of the tournament, is Kaleb Koho. We're going to start by talking to RJ. RJ, you played a hell of a game. Tied, then going into the bonus round. You took it down to the wire. Really, really great match. I think you proved once again that you're not somebody to sleep on in debate. How are you feeling about the performance?
Like I said, like I always tell you guys, for me, the main goal is always to make it to the bonus. I don't like getting knocked out. I don't like losing. You know, it went exactly like I like. I like winning my arguments at least. If I'm gonna make it to the last round, I at least want to win my arguments, which I did. I won both my arguments, so I'm okay with that. And for the first time, there was one where it was a clean sweep, which I've never had before. So that felt really good that I actually got a clean sweep on one. But let's be honest, it was Power Rangers. If I wasn't gonna get the clean sweep, one of y'all were high. But no, I mean, like I said, Koho didn't pick my answer, but he picked a good answer. And it was really hard to try to think of another character, like you said, not Buzz Lightyear, that's going to get their own movie. And it was totally fair. Like I said, it was 100% fair because he is getting one. But yeah, it was just, there were so many movies and I didn't want to take up time. So I went with the first fart that came to my head, and it just happened to be Mater. And I had to work with what I had.
A fart's a pretty good explanation.
Crazier things have happened. I think we once did the bonus question like best Pixar lead character, and one person picked Woody and one person picked Lightning McQueen, and Lightning McQueen won. So like crazy shit has happened in the bonus round, specifically with Pixar before. So I think you played it really well. I'm excited to see you come back. If you decide to come back, I think there's a bright future for you in debate. So great performance today, RJ. We're going to move over to Koho. Koho, you snuck out the win there in the bonus question. Moving on to the next round to play Amaru Moses. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I didn't think I was going to win either of his points, to be honest with you. I just didn't feel very confident in my arguments for his. I tried my best to put up fights. I knew I was going to lose the Power Rangers one no matter what. It's his thing. I could give no less of a shit about 2017's Power Rangers. I hate that fucking movie. I haven't seen it since theaters. I didn't care. I was figured he could win that one. I tried really hard for his other one. But oh well, that one just didn't go my way. I figured as long as I could win mine, I feel good about my abilities in the speed round, and the bonus round. That's sort of the round where I feel most comfortable at home. So I figured if I could get there, I had a good shot at trying to win there. So I felt good about my arguments. RJ fought really well, especially in some of mine. But yeah, that was fun. It was a good time. This is probably the most relaxed I've ever been for a debate, and it felt good.
How are you feeling about going up against Amaru?
Amaru's a really smart guy, like a really smart guy. I think he can come up with some really good answers, and he's gonna give me a good run. We'll see how it goes. I'm probably gonna do the same thing that I did today. Just like, don't stress myself out over it. Just kind of go a little bit more relaxed into it, and I had more fun this time. So we'll see. Good luck tomorrow. This will be fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Koho. We'll see you in a couple weeks with the next match. Lucas, any final thoughts?
No, just a good match. Good. Well, it was pretty close. Small margins for error at times, and we had some fun with Star Trek.
That's true. Cody, final thoughts from you.
Yeah, it was fun. I think overall there's I think just they won their own arguments. Basically, they won the stuff they chose. I like when somebody can steal one from the other person or something like that. It makes it a little bit more interesting. But that's what happens when you get two people. They're like, meh, win, lose, meh, that's fine. I'm like, fair. And I got to learn a lot about Star Trek. But even though I saw the movie, I tried to forget that, and I got to relive it. So I'm not very happy right now. So
that's fair. Well, guys, that's gonna do it for us here at Fanzone. Thank you to RJ. Thank you to Koho. We'll be back next week. We are weekly now up until Mayhem, so we'll be back next week with Kurt Kolakowski versus Andrew Barr, the final match of round 2 of the tournament. It's going to be really exciting. We're going to find out who's going to go on to play the winner of Boatman and TWOHIG. So it's going to be a really exciting match. We'll see you guys very soon. And remember, just remember, fucking a Vulcan does not get you a humpback whale. We'll see you next time.
That's my bad. I was sending a tweet.